Hello everybody. Today we're back with another programming stream. As for what we'll be doing, I honestly don't know. I'm gonna pull up the GitHub and see what was the last changes I've made, but I think mod shift 5 and then yeah, I think, let's see, 3 2 okay. I'm searching up on my other monitor right now. Let's see. Pull up the GitHub repo. Okay, so the last thing I did yesterday was I created endpoints for a lot of the tables. I removed an old SQLite 3 crate and added state for routes. What about this? I spent a lot of the handler stuff. And a slow way to calculate the mill price. So we go to end source and we go to our handlers. We just added get mill price. So what we'll do is, this was something I was talking about, but you know, I'm gonna go to my notes design document and kind of see where we're at. So we have get request to calculate ingredient price. I think we only have meal price. I think only we have this. I think maybe we should. I think I'm gonna handle these two right here. Sources get source. So yeah. Let's copy this. So we'll yank this. We'll go up 2 directories. We'll go into source and then we'll go into our handlers. Yeah. Let's paste this here. V9K. And yeah, I think this will work out. The reason why we're actually, I forget to pull up one of my favorite things to pull up is journal, and let's open that. So if we look, we can kind of see what was I thinking about? Okay, so on the front end, I'm gonna imagine, maybe I should kind of create what I imagine the, is this like Control Shift N? I have no idea. So new page. I think it's Control Shift D. Control D. System D. I don't think it's any of those. Here, default tool. Where is new page after Control Shift D? Should be it. Guess not. That's that. So I guess where was it? Here, new page after. So I'm making this function over here, calculate ingredient price, and the way this will work, because when we're gonna make this post request for ingredient, right, you know, on a create ingredient, we need a price, and that's gonna be included in the JSON payload. I'm imagining I'm gonna send this JSON payload probably through a form in HTML, right? But there's gonna be probably within that form a little box, right? And it'll probably be like type in the price. But I'm thinking that when you select your source ID, the amount you put in, the source ID will automatically pull what the measurement unit is, populate this area, and then when you adjust the amount, the price will move and change in that case, right? So we need to a way to, I'm assuming there will probably be an endpoint that will calculate this price, and it'll return in this case that price, right, for that amount. Which would include a decent amount of things, right? So here, right, we kind of explained. So I want to get the price and the weight from where our source ID is, which will be here. So it'll probably be pretty similar to the query that we were doing for this up here, where we get our params and we get our meal price parameter. So, okay, I think I kind of have an idea of how to do this. So let's implement it. So I am going to move this out the way. And we get our get meal price parameter type here. So I'm gonna have somewhat of the same thing here, right? So I think here, and I'll have this, yeah, I can just change to change and then to change, I don't know, I want to to the next word and then the capital P's. And actually wait, no. All right, ready? To change T and then to capital P. And this should be get ingredient price param, right? And what we're gonna provide, if we go back maybe to the bottom of this, we need to provide the source ID. So change 4 letters, and then we'll do source ID. We'll go back to the bottom of the page, and that's all we need. But we should also in the query provide the amount that the user had, the price and the total weight of the container, and the amount. Yeah. And I'll just implement it because I'm thinking about potential issues with doing this, right? So what if the amounts are different? I don't know if I should attach the measurement unit ID to do any conversions. Or we should maybe do any comparisons before we do any conversions, right? So calculate ingredient price. So source that is currently chosen. Okay, so source ID. So they create their ingredient name, they select the source ID, they input an amount. Yeah, so I also need within this query an amount. An amount. And honestly, might have to hard code this. I might just have it where I'm also going to pull the measurement unit ID. If they're not the same, we're just going to, that kind of like, you know, you're going to mess it up, right? So yeah, I'll just do it like that. So, all right, we created the necessary thing. So let's go to 23K, and it'll be somewhat similar to this. So I'm gonna go here, and then I'm gonna yank V to the forward to here. Yank, gonna go to 34J. I'm gonna paste this here. I'm gonna return a JSON, and I'm returning the price again, so it should be a float 64. And I'm gonna name this, what? Let's go till M, forward M. Change till underscore. Get ingredient price. And then I'm gonna do forward to capital G. Here. Change inside here, and we'll do get ingredient meal price parameter. And we want to do another query. So for K, we want to do this. So we can just look back to our get meal price and how we're calculating it there. Thing is, we're querying more than one type. Oh, it's pretty similar. It'll be the rows. So let's go to 24K. Let's do shift, and then let's go, I believe, AJ, yank. Let's go to 33K or 33J, and then I'm gonna, can I execute that command again? I'll just set up mark. I don't know what I did. So paste this here, and we're gonna change this to, we'll have 2 arrays, or maybe create a tuple. Wait, no, we're only getting 1. So I'm gonna just name this, you know, let, and then I'm gonna just name this price. So let price, let source price, right? Source price, which should be of F64 equals 0.0, and our total weight of our container. So let source price, and I believe that should be an I64. Wait, TP, and then change forward to here, and this should be source TYOC, total weight of container. Alright, we have that, and the query that we're gonna run, let's go 14K, yank inside, backticks, you know, yank inside, and then backticks, and till there, put a question mark, and the parameters that I'm gonna change to the end, and this should be our source ID. Alright, and then for here, right, we're doing this. We're gonna, honestly, I don't know if we need this because it's not an array. So all we're really doing is we're gonna say, let me do GC for this, just so I'm not getting this error. We're gonna do, we wanna set our source, so these should be mutables. So I'm gonna go 10k, because we're gonna end up changing them. And this is gonna be, so let source price, it's gonna be equal to row.try. Okay, and then price, and then I'm gonna just unwrap this, and then forward to P, change to the end, T, complete that, and then forward to the next quotation marks, change inside here, and then total. And I forget, I think it's called total weight of container. We gotta change, so to change forward R total, and then I can just autocomplete that. And there should only be one row. We get our 2. We know. It will be only one row. But it won't need to be a while loop. Let me see if I know it's going to be one row, the documentation. I think it kind of gets into it. Oh, okay. So we can do can I do something like this? So let row, and it'll be a tuple of an F64 and an I64 SQLX. And then I'm gonna go 4k, yank inside the quotation marks, 4j, forward to here, paste, and then, oh wait, what's the command for this? I think it's mvim surround. I know there's a way to just add quotation marks within surround words, so change quotes, but the word has to be all together. Oh, YS $sign. So I'm gonna go search back to, wait, no. Let's do, I believe this is what, Shift T, search for that. And what I'm looking at right now is this. I think this command should do what I want. So YS $sign quotation marks. Oh wait, I have an idea now. So it's gonna be YS and then till the next, oh wait, no, I did it wrong. Alright, so we're here. I'm gonna do YS till the next quotation marks, and then, yep. Alright, and then what I'm looking at right now is I'm using a simple query to return a given parameter. I don't know if this will work, but I don't know if this is better, but let me try it. So we're looking at query as, which should be up here, and we'll enter and we'll do dot bind source ID dot fetch one at state dot pool, and we'll do a dot await dot unwrap, and I will gc this out, and we'll go 6k shift 4j gc, and then we'll do the calculations here. So we'll do row dot 0 should be the source price. We'll divide that by row dot 1, and we'll multiply that by amount. Oh, this should be params dot amount, and then can we go back to this, and then we'll surround. Wait, we can do ys dollar sign. I want to surround this with, what do I want to surround this with? This will be a JSON, so quotation marks, and this should be a JSON. Is this not a division symbol? Oh, it's an I64, but we'll do it as an F64, and then this will all be as an F64. $16K, shift 2J, GC that out. And we'll see if this works. I don't, maybe it will. So let's see. So this will be the, I guess in this case, the setup of where this is gonna hit is gonna be similar to how we're doing it at main for our get mail price. So I'm gonna do for to m, change to underscore ingredient price, for to m again, and repeat that command. And then we are expecting a query. So the query should look like this. If we, let's go here, let's do a curl, and we're doing that. So here should be ingredient price, and then we're gonna do parameter where ID, this should be source ID, and I need to look at SQLite one more time, so I'm gonna do a select star from source, because we're gonna calculate the the ingredient price for Cinnamon Toast Crunch, right? So this source, and then if you remember, we should also tag in an amount. I also kind of forgot how to have multiple queries. Oh wait, I think I just pulled up the Axiom docs, I believe. So Control L, %space, Axiom. Oh, that's not my ThinkPad, just want to switch to tab. Okay, so want to swap these two real quickly. And where is my query? So let's go to Axiom into a response. Where is query? Is it under extractors? Path, yes. I'm gonna go from request. But I remember like vividly that there was a handlers. Here. Where's my foobar? Dog. Query. I think it's this. Yeah. So we have to put an ampersand in between them. So we'll swap our things back. And we'll go above here. Control E to the end. Then ampersand amount. And if we can just use our sample in this case, right? We can do a select star from ingredient. We see the amount we use is 41, so we'll do 41, and the price we should get is around 0.37. But before we do anything, we need to actually run the server. And it's a little off, almost by it is actually kind of off by a decent amount actually. Am I not doing something right? Is the casting kind of weird? Because that's 0.03 instead of 0.3. And we can even do the same for, let's say, oh wait, source ID is 1. Oh, it's because the wrong source ID. It should be 2 for Cinnamon Toast Crunch. And we get something similar. We're a little off, but you know, that should, we're only really looking at the first 2 decimal points, and we're rounding to the end, so it might be slightly inaccurate, but we're getting what we want for the most part. And then we can do the same for maybe, let's do 2, let's do 1, and then let's do the amount, which is 240. This one might be like 1.6, I think. Is that what we expect? 240. I got 0.185. That's way off from what I've seen. Why though? 1 and the amount is 240. Is it because I'm casting a lot of like numbers? I don't know if I should just have everything as a float 64. But that would mean changing the database types to a float 64. Source ID was 1, right? And then I think so. Yeah, source ID is 1 and the amount's 240. What if I send it as a float? Why is it like that? It's because of the number that I'm pulling. Because this number is like this. Like, why is there this here? I have no idea. That's an extra 2 cents. Like, it's 7. That should be 1.016, really. But that's 2 extra pennies. Like, that's a lot of money. 2 extra pennies is being calculated on top of this. Don't know why. Let's go back to the handlers. But, I mean, it's working as expected for the most part, right? 0 is the float. But I think, right? Let me do a print ln. Boom, boom, row dot 0, row dot 1. Let's run it again, and I kind of want to see. Yeah, no, it's the 2. That's correct. 384. Total weight of the container, and then yeah. I need to test something out, because I remember I changed something about how about how row 1, and then can I do print ln row dot 1 as in 64. It's about this. It's the same. It doesn't really change. It's because of all those little extra numbers. I think this is working fine. It's pulling the numbers correctly. Logic's pretty simple. Cents is kind of worrying me though, because if there's 2 cents off, imagine, and that's a small number. Imagine what's the difference gonna be whenever we do something. But I need to see what the price. The price is a float, but I think I was sent when I was posting the ingredients. It wasn't as a float 64. So I think now the price. So I'm gonna test out. Create ingredient. Create meal to ingredient. Get ingredient price. I'm gonna do a create ingredient. Yeah, I'm gonna do one of these, and then I'm gonna do create another ingredient, I need to create another source. So let me do, I did beans. I'm gonna see, I think I can do. Sorry. Okay, so I'm gonna create a source, and I'm gonna create, I guess, kind of. I think. Do I have a receipt on me? I don't think so. Actually, I'll just pull. I'll pull it from the web. So I'm gonna go to. Let's look up on Walmart. I'm gonna have a create ingredient. And the name of no, I need to create source. So our source, the name, it's gonna be, I'm gonna do black beans. Yo, 0.86 is great. Yo, this is an insane price, bro. What? Yo, I'm some great value beans from Walmart. Wait, I need the. I'm gonna buy the specific one that I got. It was like pinto. Some black beans. This one, I think. Yeah, this one's a little bit more expensive, and it's the same one that I bought. Yeah, it's like a 4.5 servings, I think. I think I sent it somewhere. I think it's in my calculator. I think I can reason about the serving size. Let me see. There's 4.5 servings. There's 4.5 servings, and it doesn't tell me the serving size. You know what? I'll just see if this one shows me. Yeah, this one does. So, wait, let me move this. Shift 6. Okay. So I'm gonna name this black beans. The brand is from Goya. The price is $1.58. Servings per container was 3.5 servings. Ooh, that's another issue. I think servings per container, I only have it as a yeah, I'm gonna change it to a float 64. If I do dot schema star from no dot schema for ingredient, no source, its price and amount. Wait, serving size is an integer. Oh, servings per container is an integer. So let me alter a table to be a float. how to alter a row data type in SQL. Modify column. Let's see. So I'm gonna do a alter source, alter column name, which should be servings per container. Servings per container, and this should be. And I might change the other two to floats as well. Oh wait, I'm gonna use the modify. So alter source, and then I want to modify the column name, which should be servings per container, and this will be a float, not null. Oh, alter table. So this should be alter table. Then modify. Did I spell? Where is, yeah. Is it like yo, how do I alter a column, bro? Wait. Float? Yeah, that's what I did, right? Float? Yeah, it's about the same. Okay, so it should be is alter table, the table name, and then we want to do modify We need to add column. So I'm going to do alter table, this table name, modify, column name should be servings per container. Alright. How to alter a column in SQLite. To rename, start a transaction, drop the old table. All this documentation search. Whoa. Okay, sorry. Let's get back. I got a message on Discord. Alter column in SQLite. Yes, bro. So alter table source, alter column. Okay, come on, man. Insert into drop the old table. Say you have a table and need to rename column B to columns. The first create the new table with temporary name based on the old table definition but with the updated column name. Loki just might drop the entire table. So I'm gonna just drop I'm gonna just have to create a new whole new alter table source. There's no alter column in SQLite. Yeah, it seems there is no alter column. So what I want to change, right? If we go to the database rs, I'm just gonna change the entire table, the source table. I'm gonna change this row to a float and this row to a float as well, and serving size to a float as well. So let me see how to drop a table. How to remove a table and its contents in SQLite. So you learn how to remove a table from the database using drop table. So we'll do drop table. Okay, we'll do drop table source. Okay, and then if I do dot tables, that source table's gone. What I'm now gonna do is I'm gonna do a create table source ID integer primary key, name text not null, source ID is an int which references source. Oh wait, okay, I think we're good. Alright, create table source ID. I'm looking at the wrong one. There we go. Create table source ID integer primary key, name text not null, brand text not null, price will be a float not null, servings per container will be a float and this will not be null, serving size will be a float as well, not null, measurement unit ID will be an int which references measurement unit ID not null, and then I want to do a total weight of container be int, and this will be generated always. No, this won't be an int. I want this to be a float. Generated always, and then boom, as space servings per container times serving size. Dot schema source, and then if I do a select star from source, there should be nothing there. We'll see how this one works out. So servings per container, so the new table has now been created. Let me make sure I change. So change to the end, we'll name this as a float, do the same thing here, and then this should be a float as well. So we updated our database file. Let's do a, yeah, so okay, I'm gonna go back to the Walmart thing I was looking at. Okay, So what was I looking at? Okay, I'm at the beans. Measurements per container. If we pull that back up, servings per container was actually 3.5, and the serving size is 122, and then the measurement unit ID I do not remember, so select star from measurement unit, and 1 is our grams, so yeah, that's correct. Okay, let me run that, hit this API. Oh, okay, I need to change the handlers to take this and take this correctly. So create ingredient, so servings per container, so servings, yep, RF. Okay, there we go. Let's hit that one more time. That works. We can do a select star from source, create source. Did I just get did I actually hit the API? There we go. Now that's better. It all works now. It's because we were, this is exactly what I want. Yep. I don't know what we were, I think it was doing a conversion. It was converting, and then it will cause an issue to the decimal points. So now we're bad. Now we're good. Okay, what was I doing? Oh, okay, I wanted to test out retest this new price calculator to see if we get it right. So now I'm going to create an ingredient. So let's do create ingredient. And for today's ingredient, we're going to do black beans. We're just name it black beans. Black beans. Source ID, it's going to be 1. It's changed. Amount, if we remember, serving size is 122 grams. So we're going to do 122 grams. Measurement unit ID. What did I measure this as? If you remember, the measurement unit ID of our black beans is 1 is grams. And then I am going to personally pass over the price. So if we remember our price calculation method, we'll calculator. I need to open up another one, so env source, wait no, z ppmc, env source handlers, we'll go to the bottom, and what we're doing is we're taking the price, so the price of our black beans is, and I'm going to put this into parentheses, so 1.58, and we're going to divide that by, so make sure, we got to change this also to a now float, because our total weight of our container is now also a float. So 1.58, and we're going to divide that by 427, and then we're going to multiply, clear. Alright, and then I'm going to multiply that by the amount, and in this case the amount was 122. So for reference, let me control C this. Our bean price is going to be 45. It could be 1.4, it's a bunch of numbers, but I'm only going to include 45. But in most cases, it's going to include a lot more numbers based on the calculations we've just seen so far. So, boom. We can just close that window. There might be a swap, but I didn't add anything. Let's clear that. Let's do a, clear this. Let's do a select star from, ingredients. I remember now. We gotta drop some things because their source IDs might not exist anymore. So, how to drop, how to delete a row in SQL. Oh, how to delete a row in SQL, like delete from table. Okay, so delete from the table in this case is going to be ingredient where ID is equal to 1. And then we'll do the same for 2, and then if we do select star from ingredient, there we go, black beans is the only thing that should exist with our price and everything else like that. Yeah. Okay. Now, let's close this, turn off the server, go back to handlers. Let me pull up chat just one more time, Loki, because I don't, I'm reading that. If I think, oh yeah, this is what I was gonna do. I'm gonna change this to a float because, and then we don't have to change, we don't have to do any of these conversions anymore, except for the parameters amount, because that will be parsed as an I64. But unless the parameters will adjust that, but I think we only lose accuracy whenever we go down in like our float number. So say if we had a float 64 and then we cast down to a float 32, we can lose some accuracy, but we don't necessarily lose the accuracy of an I64 if we cast it to a F64. So let's go and do run the server. Wait, we're here, we're doing everything correctly. Okay, let's run our server, and then let's do a curl. Well, no, we're gonna do, what's the endpoint? Get ingredient price, the source ID. Let's make sure we use the new source ID. So select star from source, and source ID is 1. The amount, the serving size should be 122. And we get the right number this time, and we know that for sure because if we do a select star from ingredient, we see that, and then next time we don't have to do this, we can just select star from ingredient, the entire row, where name likes, and then star black, black beans. I think it's quotation marks, right? Did I have it in my notes somewhere? But we can exit that now, and then we can do just bad notes. Yeah, okay, it's quotation marks. So there we go. And then we can, honestly, we don't even need that. We can just do select price, and that's the price of it, 0.45, and that's exactly what I got on the calculator above. So we do have it. So that works now. Well, our data accuracy is now correct. So now I shouldn't be seeing. Now I shouldn't be seeing in this case any like 2 cents off, because that could definitely add up. If I'm seeing 2 cents off of my thing, I could see that going up a bunch of money depending on the amount of expensive of the ingredients, right? So in this case, you bought a ribeye, right? Those ribeyes run like $40. if I'm getting 2 cents off of just, you know, very small numbers, I can imagine I can get like $4 to $5 off somewhere else. So we have the price calculator working. So I'm gonna do V 9K, wait, Shift V 9J, delete. I can delete this print statement. And can we have our get handler working correctly? If we I think next let's go to notes, design document. We have our get request that searches for our sources, get source for our patterns like this. So this one is a little different, right? So I don't exactly know how to populate, you know, when someone clicks a drop down menu, right? And then they type something in, like how do we populate that? Should we populate that each time, you know, they enter in a new character? And we just, you know, keep looking for this pattern. Maybe. I had a project where we did something similar. So I'm just gonna look at that. GitHub.com/Kevin-dev. And I think I do have, I worked on a project. And I think this should be public. Actually, it's not public. Okay. Yeah, okay, I found it. Oh, it is public. I'm just not here. Wait, no, this is something else. This fall, let me show. Yeah, here it is. Wait, no. It was on my initial one. I think it's gonna be lamp API. Oh, okay. So we just return an array of every single. Okay, that makes sense. Ooh. Okay. So we'll just return a row of a JSON, a vec of, but row ID. Oh. Okay. I was just looking at my whole project on how we did it before. And what we did was and this is PHP code, so it's kind of, I think you have to declare variables with a $sign, but it's like we have in a row, and I need, honestly, the only information I need to make sure I send over is the ID and the source name. So we can exit up this. So I'm gonna do this. And then source handlers. And it'll be something similar to, we'll do a pub async. Yeah, so we'll do, you know, Shift V 5K yank 5J paste forward to G, change to the end of the word. We'll do, and I believe I named this search contacts, so I'm gonna name this search sources. I'm gonna do forward to capital G. I'm gonna change inside here, we're gonna name this search sources params or param. We're gonna go up. We'll go to, I believe I like 15J. Let's do a hashtag derive debug deserialize pub struct, and then we'll do, what is it? Search sources param. And in this case, we'll have our pattern, right? So it should just be a pattern, and it should just be a string. We'll go back to where I was, and then we're gonna, it won't be fetch one this time, but it'll follow the get mail price methodology, right? So we'll yank, we'll go back to 29J, we'll do shift 3J, and we're gonna paste all this new code here. We're gonna change, and wait, let me actually we'll do shift and D and yank, and then I'm gonna go control O back to here. We'll paste this shift 3J GC. It's 5J GC. Okay, so I don't think this will be mutable, and then change to the end sources. Let me do J forward to F, change inside here. Can we go 5K, yank inside the backticks, 5J, forward to quotations, paste, change inside the percents. I wish that worked. So change till the percent, or delete till the percents. Yep. Put the quotation mark there. Our param, so change to the pattern, and then select ID and name. So I guess I want to make this into a hash map, right? Let me see what type of data types, right? Because I'm thinking, you know, we're getting the IDs as well. So, you know, space, sources, and their names, and maybe their brand as well should be something we include. So for end of the word, name, brand. So, you know, maybe hash map where ID is the key and it points to a tuple of the name and brand, right? And then just return this as a JSON. So JSON, I think Saturday JSON, maybe Saturday wait, I could just do control %L and then Saturday. Do I have a Saturday JSON file? So we'll see here. Serializing data structures. Any type that implements the Saturday serialized tree can be serialized this way. This is built into Rust standard library types like hash map, key, and value. Can key values wait, in can I just create? I'm thinking, does SQLX have a way? Because right, if we're doing this, right, can I serialize this into a struct, right? So maybe in this case we have pub struct. Oh, let me do a slash %s slash circ sources param slash search sources param. Right. Okay. I'm thinking, can we do, have found searches or found sources, and the struct I want is the name. Well, this should be the ID, should be an I64, name, string, and then brand, string. 6K, paste, 4 to the comma, and then, serialize. I don't include that though. Right. Let me see. Does SQLX have a way to serialize data structures based on what I pull? Or do I just manually do it? Because I mean, I'll manually do it, but map row into a user-defined domain type. Okay. I see it. So here, this right there, that's what I'm looking for. So I want underscore user. So what did I just do? I pressed G and it brought me to discussions on the SQLX page. Okay, so what I was trying to show off was this should also have derive, and then this should be SQLX from row. And then here we should do, and it seems like I don't want to get rid of this yet, but I'll just comment this out. Same with this, and then we'll do let much stream SQLX query as, and then I like to do this, not sure why, and then this should be found, and then go 10K, yank inside here, 10J, forward to here, paste, search backwards to here, ys till here, and then surround this with quotation marks, ys till here, and then quotation marks. And then can I go to the end of this, and then we just bind. We do the dot bind. So you bind user email, and then and then we do it in the order. Wait, what? Oh, it'll just bind the name and then the ID automatically for me. And then I just, okay. I just gotta do dot bind dot fetch at, and then how do I have access? is this an array of can I just do this as a custom type? What's the trouble here? But how do I... Oh, wait. Maybe it's not that one, but it's handlers. We're not going to use this one. But we'll do let 15k delete 13j. Let sources equal sqlx query as macro, and we'll do found sources and I'm gonna tab this over one more and then enter tab select ID name brand from source where name like percent quotation percent comma, and then we pass in the parameter that we want to use. It should be here, and I'm going to do params dot pattern dot fetch all at state dot pool dot and then I can just do what is this, 26k forward to capital F, change in, wait no, I can just surround, wait no, undo. What's the... I think there's the nvim control L space percent space nvim surround ys inward and then this, and then I want this to be a vec. Yeah. And then I'm going to 25J and then just do JSON and then oh, I forget, bro. We can't use this because I need to set an e.env variable. Clippy, right? Set the database URL. Yeah. I really want to do it. I don't know. Because then the database URL is like totally dependent. Okay. But how do I access these stream results? So I'm gonna GC this again. How do I access the stream results? Where is the SQLX documentation page? Stream. This is under as query as single query. Cause yeah, query as. Oh, I should do fetch all. not work like that? I think I have to do a fetch. Oh wait, that's why. I'm not doing fetch all. The other one I'm doing fetch all. There we go. And can I turn this into... Can I turn this into a JSON? Like, that'd be cool. Where's the JSON? I think it showed me, right? If it implements to JSON. Skip. Where's the JSON thing? The metadata will be deserialized and using deserialize it. Wait. Well, let's see how this works. So, yep, let's go back. Let's go to... I want to say... I think I'll do the internal main. Let's go to 32J. I kind of forgot. Doom. Where am I at? Handlers. It's called search sources. So the URL, yeah, search sources. Let's go back. So let's go to main and dot route slash search sources or search source, and then get handlers search source. Boom. Handlers. It's search sources. So Control O. And I think let's do a search through the previous quotation mark. Let's add that. Let's Control O back to here. And what was it gonna do? We have our params. So I think now what we'll do, I think all of this should work, is I low-key want to add another, so let's do SQLite. Let's do a select star from sources or source. I'll be right back. I'm gonna, actually no, I kind of wanted to see which items I have here at home. So I'm thinking, let's search for, I already have Walmart open. I'm gonna move this here. Control W. And let's think, what are some things I usually eat? Oatmeal, right? So I'm gonna search up oatmeal. Yes, I always get these old-fashioned oats. Honestly, the value for these are insane. Like yeah, let me just, wait, this one has it. Let me just open this in a new tab. videos of quick roads. It's insane. Sorry if you heard that. Let's mod shift 7 and then 6. Okay, I am gonna run the server and I'm going to run a create source and I'm gonna put in the names for this, so it's gonna be old-fashioned oats, old-fashioned oats. The brand is Quaker Oats. The price paid for this is $2.98. $2.98. The servings per container is about 13 servings. Serving size is 40 grams. Measurement unit ID will stay the same. What else do I get? Peanut butter. I do get a lot of peanut butter. And I get a specific brand. Yeah, this one. I get crunchy, actually. Any crunchy peanut butter fans? Just me? Alright. Where's the crunchy one? Like, who doesn't like an extra crunch in day peanut butter, bro? Here it is, chunky. I don't like that name. Okay, so let's do another. Let's create source. And let's name this natural chunky peanut butter. The brand for this will be Smuckers. Smuckers. It's actually with a quotation mark, but I don't like that. I don't like quotation marks in there, so I'm gonna remove it. The price is $4.12. 4.12. Serving size per container is about 14 servings. Serving size is 32, and my measurement's gonna be grams. That. I bought some jelly recently, so jelly. Oh, some strawberry preserves. Strawberry jam. I think it was, yeah, it was strawberry. Oh, this is expensive. Yeah, this is expensive. It's 12 ounces. Okay. So, let's do another create source. And let's do, yeah, the name of this is gonna be strawberry jam. Wait, is there another one? Is there one with seeds? This is 12 ounces. I'm gonna do a different thing. I'm gonna do turkey bacon. Because I do be buying turkey bacon. Now selling this great value. Yeah, okay. So this turkey bacon, let me just name this hard. What is it called? Hardwood or great value? Just name this hardwood smoked turkey bacon, uncured smoked uncured turkey bacon. The brand will be great value. The price for this is $4.97. Servings per container is about 12. And the serving size is 24, and this is also in grams. So let's see all these new. So I'm gonna do a select star from source. We got a few of them in here. Old fashioned fashioned oats. Maybe I'm gonna add instant oats. Instant oats. You know, so when we search up two, we maybe get two sources instead, right? So I used to get these quick 1 minute oats. Wait, what was the size of the other one that I just, the old fashioned oats? I think I chose, it was $2.98. It was an 18-ounce canister. So I'm gonna choose the same 18-ounce canister, and then will do another create. So actually, I'm gonna do an oats. Quaker? I guess not, right? Curl. Wetter turkey bacon. This is gonna be whole grain oats. So we'll do whole grain oats. Quick 1 minute instant oats. And then this is Quaker oats. The price for this is $2.98 servings per container. It's about 13 servings. Serving size is 40 grams. Measurement 1 unit ID is that. Okay, so select star from source. We have a few choices now. You can kind of see old fashioned oats and 1 minute oats are about the same. And then we have our generated, you know, servings per, about the servings per container. So now we're gonna do, I kind of forgot, let me do a bat, wait, no, let's do a ZPPMC. I'm trying to find stream just in case. And okay, let me do a bat and then source handlers. The route is going to be search sources, so we'll do curl-x get, and this should be a search sources, and then this will be a pattern, and this pattern that I will provide would be, let's say, oats. We get an empty array. Is BA work? Does anything work? Does an empty string work? Does bacon work? I guess not. Is my let's see if I did anything wrong. Maybe I'm gonna do a can I do a print and then because I mean, let me do it from here. Select ID, name, brand from source, where name is like percent oats percent. If this works, I think include. I think I need to see 6, 5, 3, 2. Where's my browser? Here. I think I need to see exactly how to include a variable query as, and I need to figure. I think I'm not binding something correctly, or maybe it's pattern, right? Let me do a println of the pattern. Pattern. And then so the pattern is bacon, so it is getting sent over. I think it's the binding that I'm doing incorrectly. Let's go to query as, and then I need to see this function, query bind. How to bind a oh wait, maybe I don't. I think what I know at the end. I think I remember doing something along the lines of this. Let's do a let pattern is equal to format, and then it should be boom percent, boom boom boom, and then we'll do params.pattern, and then I'm gonna change inside here. I'm gonna do pattern, and then I'm gonna go forward to capital L. Let's execute that command. Forward to this quotation mark. Delete till this quotation mark, and then do an equal like that. Okay. Again, like the pattern's correct, but oh, I forgot the percent signs. Is the binding still incorrect? Oh, wait, no, I'm waiting. Am I waiting? Am I returning too early? Is found sources not like the right? I think I'm doing something wrong. The like is executing correct. Can I print like? There was something. I know there was something. Query as, and then I think the array's still empty. I think I'm doing something wrong with the bind. No, I think it's the way my bound sources is handled. From row. I think it's this. Wait, am I doing SQLX from row? Yeah, SQLX from row. ID, name, brand. What am I doing? Whoa, what am I doing? What's going on? What is going on? String. What's going on here? I have no idea. Why is the get request not working? Is the params being passed correctly? And I don't need the exclamation mark, right? No, I don't. When running that correct, select ID, name, brand, from source, where name, like question mark. Bacon. How accurate does this need to be? What if I just did capital H? Like nothing works. Search sources, question mark, pattern. Is it? No, it can't be because this one works. Why wasn't it working here? Am I? What's going on, man? I need to exit out of this and then move this over here. I need to like just look at this from here. Yeah, that's like what I want to do. And then if I do this, and then if I did OA, if I did BA. Still doesn't work. Why is this not working? What's going on, bro? really close to just asking AI what's the issue. It's gonna be query as, and I need fetch all. Still nothing. Wait. No. What's going on, dude? There has to be like some form of my goodness, bro, what's going on? Examples. I'm doing the wrong thing. Something's wrong. Let's see. Hmm. Oh my god, bro. How does this work? Am I not doing it away correctly? I'm about to make a request in here for some help, man, cuz I have no idea what I'm doing wrong. But then now I have to go about and also think about solving the problem for myself. I refuse to use AI for this. Okay, so we're doing select ID, name and brand from source. where name is like this. Wait. No, okay, I'm fine. This is similar to what we did up here. Yeah, it's the same thing. That works. No, I'm not getting off this, so I'll figure out what's going on with this. I will get this to work. I will. Is there an async function going wrong here? I'm gonna do a rebuild. So I'm gonna do a cargo clean and do a run. I'm gonna see, maybe I have to rebuild and run. Maybe that's why. Maybe it's one of those things, because I know in Ratatouille you had to do a rebuild and a run of it all again to actually get this thing to work. No. Maybe it's because of all the other bugs. there's no way this code's not working. Still doesn't work. Come on, just. That works. That works, but why is fetch all not? I'm binding a parameter incorrectly. Can you execute a where? What is doing that? Oh wait, do I need to do the backslash? No way. Does query as not work with where? Has to be somewhere in the documentation, bro. Is there like a GitHub for this? I don't know. I'm really about to just AI this, bro. I'm probably just gonna get up and do something else. Alright. I think that's gonna be a stream. I can't. I'm stuck. So get implemented high level for getting ingredient price. Struggling to get source search to work in SQLX. Alright, well, if you guys watching this and you can kind of see where I'm stuck at, then Please let me know if you guys have worked with SQLX before, and if it happens to work with where command. For some reason, it seems to only work with select all or select ID, name, brand, and then from source. But whenever I add a condition after that, it seems to just go into oblivion and just not work. So I don't know if fetch all is not the correct thing. I'm not sure. I'm just gonna come back to this later. So thank you guys for the stream, and you guys got this.